Hello, hello, hello. I know that my voice is starting to get a little bit lighter. I hope you guys can hear me. I bought a microphone, but God forget, I don't know how to get it hooked up properly. I do have a brother-in-law that's a filmographer, so I will get in touch with him in a couple months, and hopefully this all gets a little bit better. So, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's doing well. I know that I haven't been posting much. The holidays were quite a bit. I, of course, went above and beyond to make a great Christmas for everybody, and had a little fatigue after that. Been doing a lot of, I guess, housework type stuff for benefits for ALS and such. I've been going to my ALS Association support meetings. Those help. I mean, it's hopefully helpful to my husband, and I hope they expand things for children for my daughter. So, on Social Security, one thing I want to mention, I had gone through and done the phone interview and had put Terry, Teri, on top of my forms, and I hadn't heard back. And knowing that I will be let go officially, my FMLA is beyond because I can't work. Um, Beginning of March kind of scared me. I wanted to know. I was more concerned about my Medicare. So in mid January, I called Social Security, and they told me that my case was audited. It was sent off on December 6th, St. Nicholas Day, and was sent back to my local Social Security office on the 31st. So I haven't gotten any letters. I actually called, and they told me that you have to kind of show up. Well, that's a good thing to know. So if you have been a period of time afterwards, you may want to go to your local Social Security office. I would go there early because it's quite the production. Reminded me of when I went to the VA for my father and getting him through his all of his appointments. It's like a day, so you just expect to spend a day at Social Security. We showed up 9 o'clock when they opened, and because I didn't have I didn't have a letter, I didn't have anything with the information what I need to do, I signed up under general. So you go in, you wait. It's like being in a train station, lots and lots of people. In my state, Texas, apparently they do food stamps there too. So SNAP is, so I guess that's a little bit busier. Got called back. My name was called, and they told me, oh, after about an hour and a half, you've checked in. So waited for about another 2, 3 hours, and finally got called back to speak to a Social Security agent. So my work was finalized after going to that meeting. Because I have a child under the age of 16, she will receiving a little bit out of my Social Security account, and signed my husband up. So if he should become disabled between the ages of 50 to 60, he will be eligible under mine. And also, like my child will be getting a certain amount a month until the age of 16. Once I'm gone, she'll be receiving a little bit more, you know, like 1,200 a month when I'm gone. So what my idea for that, now that does help because kids are expensive. They eat and they need clothes and, activities. But what I'm going to do out of some of her money is I'm going to put a bank account up for her. So, the Social Security for minors stops at age 16. You have to think about when kids are from ages 16 to 18. I think that's the most expensive time of their lives, other than birth. You have to think about driver's ed here in the States. Her class rings, school or yearbooks, prom. Can you only imagine in 9 years how expensive senior pictures will be? I don't even know how much the cap and gown will be. So even though I may not be here, most likely I won't, I'll still be able to help her in that way. Yeah. So, got that taken care of, and then we decided to take a trip. It's actually been planned. We went to Orlando, Disney, and Universal. Definitely wanted to see my daughter go to Disney before I couldn't. It's every little kid's dream. And so we flew out from our local airport, went through, had a layover in Atlanta. My God, that's a huge airport. There was a lot of people wearing masks. I guess coronavirus has scared everybody. Um, I was noticing the masks, thinking that that's not going to be effective under the novel coronavirus, you know. But you can't. With having ALS, you can worry about 1,000 different things. And I know that those of us with ALS are more susceptible. Our immune systems are a bit affected by it, and anything respiratory can be dangerous for us. I don't know. I mean, you can stay inside your house the whole time, but I think it's really important to use it while you still have it. Move. Um, I know that I definitely had fatigue problems that I had not realized, so I may have progressed more than I had fully realized. Uh, Before I went, I've been doing physical therapy, 2 hours a week, and I just started occupational therapy. Um, it's kind of interesting. Like one arm can do 50 pounds, the other arm can do 6 pounds. It's you know, sad in some ways. So, but my goal, the one thing that has helped with physical therapy is the stretches. You think about we're going to become immobile. Learning the stretches to relieve the pressure, and I have a lot of spasticity, and that can be painful. But doing the stretching really does help. I've actually gotten more movement in my ankles because of that, my foot. I was beginning to have left foot drop, and doing the exercises and the stretches, it's a little bit more. I have now one of those foot up braces. It just is like a little one that it goes around your ankle and it ties in your shoes and it lifts your foot up a little bit more when you walk. Uh, so all of that. So when we landed in Atlanta, our connecting flight was way across a train ride and such across the terminals, and my walking started to get bad. I had a lighter carry-on bag and my purse, so I was definitely noticing that my left leg was going out. We got on the plane and had a hour and a half flight to Orlando, and then again a large airport and going across the airport. When you stay at Disney, you can get the shuttles to pick you up if you don't rent a car, and really nice. They'll actually pick up your luggage, so that actually helped me because I don't think going around the carousel I could actually grab a suitcase off anymore. So we got on, and thankfully we had seats because I don't know how long I could have hung on to move that way. That with my balance, that causes more issues now. We got to we stayed at the Port Orleans Riverside. Really lovely hotel, though. There are alligators in the river that runs through it, and I think you have to be careful. No small children near the river. It's scary. We got there. We checked in. Beautiful hotel. Of course, our hotel room, it's a big hotel complex. So our hotel room was, of course, a half a mile away. Walking, it was terrible. My husband thought I was going to tap out, but I'm a little bit stubborn. I kept going. My legs were doing all sorts of cramps and vacillations afterwards. It was painful. That actually was, I think the fatigue was painful. Overexerting the muscles was painful. Though I did, during this trip, have a period of time where I had Charlie horses in my calves, and suddenly Charlie horses don't hurt as much. I don't know if that's pain tolerance or the nerves are being affected. So I'll just take it on. It didn't hurt so bad. When we got to the park, okay, this is one thing. So they told us for Disney hotels, there's a company called Scooterbug, SCOOTERBUG, and they said that you can get there anytime and call them, and you can rent a wheelchair. You didn't have to do it ahead. Wrong. If you go and you don't have your own equipment and you don't want to fly with it, definitely do it ahead of time, because we called them on a Saturday afternoon at 3:30 and never got a call back from any of their techs. Now, at the guest services, you can rent a wheelchair. Disney has a deal that's, I think it's $12 a day, but if you rent it for multiple days, it's $10. So just a little transfer wheelchair, 18-inch wheelchairs. They do have some 20s, but nothing really that fancy. You could get a scooter, but I think the scooters are $70 a day. I didn't want to spend that. So went ahead, and when we went to guest services, I told them I had ALS, and I got scanned my little magic band, so that puts in everyone in my party. Disney is definitely set up for those with disabilities. There is a lot of access, and they cater. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip. We saw the new Star Wars thing. My husband's a big Star Wars fan. My little girl went to the Jedi training, so she was so excited about it. She now claims she's a Jedi. So saw the park. I actually rode some roller coasters, which I have agoraphobia. I'm afraid of heights, true phobia. I'm not ashamed of it. I have fallen and hurt myself in the past, so there's some reason behind that phobia. I rode the new Slinky Dog, which, when I ride a roller coaster, it's like this. All I think about is doom and dread. It's not really a nice experience for me, but I wanted to say I did it. A lot of these rides I did was, I know that I may not be able to do them later, so I wanted to make sure I did them. It doesn't mean every ride. I wasn't going to do, the Magic Carpet ride or any of those rides. I mean, there's up and down. That really is the one that really hits my phobia. So I did that, and we actually did Mount Everest. I don't know why I did it, but I did it. I opened my eyes once or twice during the ride. Slinky Dog, I kept my eyes sealed shut and tried to get my head and my knees as far as I could. After I got off Mount Everest, I was pale and shaky and wanted to throw up. The phobia was affected. But, that was okay. Oh, if you go to Disney, right near where the Mount Everest is, right between Africa and Asia, there's a little hut. And they do the Dole Whip. You can actually get the pineapple and orange Dole Whip with a little bit of rum. Definitely do it. It tastes awesome. So we went around, saw different things, saw my little one, the Frozen ride, saw the art exhibition there, so I can only imagine how much those artists paid for those booths. But it was definitely a wonderful experience. So we had the Disney meal plan. I definitely recommend you doing that. It's a little expensive, like $146 a day for an adult, but all the dinners and all the quick services and all the snacks and drinks, that can actually add up to being that or more. So it's worth it. We stayed at Disney for 4 days, and then we went to Universal. We switched hotels on Wednesday, took a day of rest. And at Universal, it is not quite as set up for people with disabilities. Yes, they have wheelchair ramps. Yes, they have that, but they don't really do anything extra. I said, is there any way I can get a check-in to come back to? I have energy levels that I have to watch. I get exhausted very easily. And she's like, well, if you stand in line or if you sit in your wheelchair, there are areas that are shaded. So there's nothing afforded to people with disabilities. I don't know if it was abused more in the past, but if you're disabled and you go to Universal, yeah, there's some great rides, and yes, you can get on some of them, but be prepared. They're not going to do anything extra. They consider you a regular person. It was kind of sad because in the Dr. Seuss section, there was a child that was on the Make-A-Wish. There was a gentleman with a Make-A-Wish t-shirt on and badge that was trying to get rides for her, and he looked really disappointed. So I'm definitely more of a Disney person now, just for that. So the plane trip back was okay. It was not quite as taxing. I don't know if it's because I rode around in a wheelchair and walked a little bit through the parks for that. But, I got to see Harry Potter, too. I know I'm a Harry Potter nerd, so I was really kind of happy to see Hogsmeade and go through the little... it's just like the book and the movies. Very, very accurate. And Hogwarts, rode that ride in Hogwarts. That was quite an experience. Now, I thought I was going to ride Hagrid's ride because I could, but agoraphobia got me. It was broken by the last day we left, so I couldn't do it. But I don't think I would want to do it anyways. had to find out, well, yes, I can do this. I will make myself do it. I'm physically able to do it. But do you really want to? That's a choice. So, back in Houston, looking at all the stuff, it's really fun with the disability and that I'm trying to choose which Medicare Part B, just use plain Part B. That's what my ALS Association nurse manager had suggested. She said that some of the Medicare Advantage or the Plan C's can HMOs, and I know there's some PPOs, but they can cause more paperwork and hassles about getting what we need with ALS, MND, in the States done. So it takes longer to get the wheelchairs. It takes longer to get the approval for home health. She recommends just going with Part B. Now on Medicare, Medicare Part B covers 80. There's 20% that an individual using it will be responsible for. I'm going to look at some of the Medigap insurances to see how much they are to help cover with some of those costs. So it's all a learning process. But I just got my Medicare card today, so I'm going to be looking at all the information today. Make sure I get a Plan D, drugs. I hope to get into some of the clinical trials. There's no guarantee, but GoodRx is good for some of the meds. Retazole, I think, is significantly less expensive on the GoodRx. But for those of us that have other diseases, like I have diabetes, I have to make sure my insulin will be covered. So I need to look for a Part D. So that's just nothing fun. That's just housekeeping. So Mardi Gras is going to start. I'm going to have to go get some beads and catch them while I still can. Well, I hope everyone's doing well. And if you have any suggestions about Medicare, anything that's worked for you, or you have anything you want me to talk about or discuss, leave a comment. All right, y'all take care, and I'll be back sooner than I was last time. Okay, thanks. Take care. Bye.